Welcome to CWC Podcast, where leadership, culture and real-life lessons collide. I'm Chris Campbell, a former military leader turned business mentor and business project manager. I'm here to share stories, strategies and simple tools that'll help gain your edge. No fluff, no jargon, just practical conversations to help you grow. Let's dive straight in. Welcome back to the CWC Edge podcast. I'm Chris Campbell and today's episode is one I am so excited about. We're diving into lean manufacturing, not just as a business tool, but as a mindset, a way of working and even a way of living. Now, if you hear lean manufacturing and immediately picture complicated charts or endless jargon or corporate consultants with clipboards running around, let me stop you right there. Lean, at its very heart, is simple, it's practical, and it's powerful. I've seen it in action. I've felt the energy it can create, and I want to share that experience with you. Recently, I had the chance to visit a company called Seating Matters in Limavady in Northern Ireland. This is the home of Lean Made Simple, led by Ryan Tierney and his outstanding team, and let me tell you this, that visit was such a turning point for me. It was like walking into a living, breathing example of what lean should be. And they're not finished. They're still on their journey. It's not theory, it's not buzzwords, it's actual culture, real everyday habits, the kind of stuff that makes you walk away thinking, why isn't everyone doing this? So today I'm going to take you on a journey. We'll cover the history of lean, how it evolved, why it matters, what I saw at Seating Matters, and the challenges of applying it even in seasoned organizations, and the small wins that make the biggest difference. And yes, we'll even talk about how lean has made it into my very own home in my kitchen. Because lean isn't just for factories. I believe lean could be put in all facets of your life. So where did lean come from? This isn't a history lesson, by the way. The roots of lean trace back to post-war Japan. Toyota were facing limited resources, as you can well imagine, and they had to find smarter ways of working. They couldn't afford to waste anything. They had to get creative. Enter the Toyota production system, the TPS, the birthplace of lean. It wasn't about cutting costs or squeezing workers to get more out of them. It was about respect for people and the relentless elimination of waste. Two Japanese words became the foundation: muda, which equals waste, and kaizen, which equals continuous improvement, or CI, as you may know it. Identify what doesn't add value and then remove it. Then keep improving. Over time, Western companies, they caught on. They could see it was working. Researchers then give it the name lean, and it's spread far beyond the car manufacturing plants. Now, you'll see lean in healthcare nowadays, education, you'll see it in tech startups, you'll see it even in kitchens. Yes, I'm talking about my own kitchen. But here's the thing, lean isn't just a tool set, it's a mindset. And you could go down all manner of rabbit holes reading about lean and researching lean, but I have a few good books that I will link in my description notes for you to go and have a look at. Some of them were inspired by the team at Seating Matters. And that's what too many organizations miss. They treat lean like this one-off consultancy project when somebody's going to come into you and say, oh, you're not doing very well, so, do this, this, and this, and you'll be flying colours. No, it's a way of thinking. It's a way of behaving every single day. Now, let me tell you about my visit to Seating Matters. What a company. If you want to go on a factory tour of a company who is doing what I think is absolutely amazing stuff, get yourself booked on. Lean Made Simple is the website. You can't miss it. The factory tour was amazing. But walking into their facility in Limavady, in the back end of nowhere, you immediately feel the buzz. The music was playing. The place doesn't just run lean, it lives lean. There's energy, there's clarity, there's pride. Every single member I spoke to of that company was proud to be there. There's a list as long as your arm of people wanting to be employed there, and they actually can't employ anymore because obviously they're working at max capacity. But I tell you this, if one person wanted to leave, they would have 20, 30, 40 people that would want to probably fill the slot. How many employers out there can actually say that if one person walked out the door, they could fill it immediately with 20 to 30 people? Not very many. They've built a whole culture around this. Ryan Tierney, who hosts the Lean Made Simple podcast, hopefully someday I might be a guest on it. He's the real deal. He doesn't complicate it. He doesn't over-engineer it. He just shows how lean principles can transform not only businesses but people within the business. One of the standout things for me was their morning routine. Every day starts with structure. A quick stand-up meeting, the music was there, everyone was energized, everyone was aligned. We even did stretches, body stretches, to get us limbered up for the day. Everyone was clear. And then, after the morning meeting, they didn't just go and get cracked on with the work process of making the quality product that they do. They went away and they did the 3S process. They started sorting out their work area. They started to set it in order again and shine it every single morning. Not once in a while, not when things get messy. Every single day. It sets the tone, it creates discipline, and it builds culture in a whole different way. And here's the impact. You don't just see tidier workstations. You see empowered staff. You see people who take ownership. You see a culture of improvement baked into the DNA of the very company. I left that company that day very well motivated. I was inspired, and honestly, I was a bit jealous of what I walked into and what I had to leave. Because I thought, imagine if every organisation was like this. Imagine if every team had the simplicity, the consistency, the energy. It would be a game changer. Now let me bring it back to my own career as a business project manager. I've been digging into lean more and more and more recently. I got qualified in several builds. And let me tell you, applying it in a well-oiled, seasoned organisation, it's not easy. You're up against habits, you're up against traditions, the way we've always done it, etc. But people don't resist lean because it doesn't work. They resist it because change is uncomfortable. And we'll talk about change, and I have talked about change in other episodes, but we will delve into change a lot more over the coming season. But cultural change is the hardest project you will ever lead, by far. You can buy new machines, you can run a project on putting a bridge across a river, you can implement new software in a company, but changing how the very people that work for you or work with you think, behave and interact, well, that is tough. That's where lean becomes less about the tools and more about your leadership styles. Again, we've had leadership podcasts, and I will upload further leadership podcasts to delve deeper for those who want to delve deeper. You have to celebrate the small wins, the little wins, because in this massive culture shift of moving people from doing one thing to then reshuffling and trying to get them to do something else, the small victories are what create that momentum in a company. That's where my visit to Seaton Matters hit home. It reminded me that lean isn't about massive transformations overnight. Nonsense. It's about embedding daily rituals, daily habits. It's about persistence. It's about consistency and staying consistent throughout the challenge. So let's talk challenges in other organizations. Lean feels like a threat, people think. They think they mean that their jobs are going to get cut. They think that it means that there's going to be more job losses. They think that it means there's going to be more work for them to do. But that's where leadership has to step in. The leadership have to own this. They have to reframe it. Lean isn't about taking away. It's about giving back. It's about giving back time. It's about giving back clarity, about giving back pride in your work, at your work. We spend nearly over a third of our life in work. Why shouldn't we be proud of it? Don't quote me on that statistic, please. But you do hit walls. People hide behind. We've always done it this way. People are skeptical. Some will even sabotage what you're trying to do. And as a project manager and a mentor to certain people who's going through these processes of leaning their organizations, I feel those walls daily. But the trick is persistence. Persistence and proof. Show them what you've done. Show them how it's made lives better for people. When you can show that a 5 to 10 minute morning routine saves an hour or 2 hours of confusion later, of trying to find stuff or not always having stock on site where you need it, the walls start to crumble. When people see their workspace running smoother, their stress levels should undoubtedly lower. Their job satisfaction should improve. That's when hearts and minds start to shift. One of the golden rules of lean is to celebrate the little wins. Too often, leaders wait for these big, massive results, £100,000 saving, before giving recognition. Lean thrives on momentum. That team that reorganised the workspace or moved things to a different area, celebrate it. Go and give them a pat on the back. Buy them lunch, for goodness sake. Buy them a coffee. The colleague who took 2 minutes off a process, celebrate it. Buy him lunch. Buy him a coffee, or her. The manager who started holiday deal... Sorry, what am I talking about? Lost my train of thought. The manager who started holding daily huddles, celebrate it. The manager who talks to his people, celebrate it. Small wins compound into these culture shifts, and it's not going to be easy. A culture is everything. Here's the fun part. Lean doesn't stop at work. It sneaks into your life. And I realised this during my recent kitchen extension. Without even planning it, I started to apply Lean. I was asking myself, looking in the shell of the extension, where do we spend the most time? I put deck chairs out. I put wooden tables out to look where the island would be. I put a cement mixer where I thought the cooker was going to be. The answer to me was the most time spent in there is making a brew, because we're traditional in England. Let's have a cup of tea. So I designed the kitchen, believe it or not, around our hot water tap, or what do you call them? Oh my goodness, it's gone right out of my mind. A cooker. We bought a cooker tap. We upgraded and went for a cooker tap to get rid of the kettle to have a minimalistic look in the kitchen. So I designed the kitchen around that cooker tap. Where's my cooker tap going to be? Where's the mugs going to be? Where's my tea bags, my coffee, my spoons? All in one flow. I did make a bit of a boo-boo because I couldn't fit the fridge in where I wanted it. So I still have to make about 4 steps to get to the fridge. But 4 steps isn't that bad in my house when it's not making me money. So no hunting for the spoons across the room anymore. I even doubled up on drawers. We didn't need extra drawers, but I thought, well, if we've got the cooker on one side and we've got the island on the other side where we do our preparing for food, we should have our preparing cooking utensils below the hob. It's easy to just grab it out, grab a wooden spoon, stir your stuff, and all the eating utensils and the sharp knives for preparing in the island worktop. Why? Because everything should be where you need it, when you need it. That's Lean. That's a flow. And it makes life easier. And do I sound sad? Probably. Do I care? No. Because it might sound daft, but that's the beauty of Lean. It's simple and it works everywhere. And I just wanted to give you a good example. And I've lived that example. The more I explore Lean, the more I read about Lean, the more YouTube tutorials I watch, the more TED Talks I watch about Lean, the more I watch of Ryan Tierney's podcast, the more I see it is universal. In business, it cuts waste, it boosts quality and engages people. In your normal life, it can reduce stress. It can save you time when you're doing things. And it simplifies routines. Lean gives you clarity, and in a world that's constantly throwing complexity at us, clarity is priceless, people. For me, Lean is no longer just a professional interest. It's a way of living. And my visit to Seaton Matters showed me what's possible when an organisation commits fully to a principle and gets behind the man that brought it to their company, Ryan Tierney. It's not just processes that change, people change, cultural change, and that's where the magic happens. So here's your short challenge for this week. Pick one area of your life. It could be at work, could be in life, where things feel a little bit messy, a little bit inefficient or stressful. Apply the 3S method, sort things out, set them in order, and shine them by cleaning, wiping, mopping, whatever. But sort what you don't need and put them in a red box. Put things where they make sense. Keep it clean. And that's it. Just start there. And when you see that difference, have a celebration dance in your kitchen if you do it. Celebrate at work with your colleagues. Look how well we've done this and we've cut time on X, Y, Z. Because the little wins lead to big cultural shifts, people. And when people see you doing it, other people will want to join in. That's it for today's episode of the CWC Age podcast. Lean isn't complicated, folks. It's simple, it's powerful, and it can be transformative. If you commit to it, trust me. My visit to Seaton Matters in Limavady in Northern Ireland, back in my home country, reminded me of that very nature. So thank you to Ryan Tierney and to the team for showing how Lean Made Simple really works. And it really is in the name. Simple. For those of you listening, if you want to see what Lean looks like in action, I cannot recommend a visit enough. And for your own life, start small. Make one drawer more organised. Start one morning routine. You'll be amazed at the ripple effect. Until next time, keep improving, keep simplifying, and keep your edge. Thanks for listening to CWC Edge podcast. If today gave you something to think about, share it with your colleagues, share it with your friends, share it with your team, because growth is better when it's shared, people. For more insights, resources and blogs, head over to cwcedge.com. Until next time, keep it simple, keep improving, and keep your edge.